Good evening. We're going to get this meeting started. This is the Administration and Public Works Committee meeting for Monday, July 23rd, 2018. We have a quorum. I'm going to go through our consent calendar, which for those who have not been here, we are now trying to minimize our time in this committee so we have more time in full council. And so as you see on the agenda, item 3 is the consent calendar. And those are all the items from A1 to A8. So as you're, I will get there. I got you. So just wanted to explain that for those of you all who might be new with this process. First, I want to move for the approval of the minutes for July 9, 2018.
Motion to approve.
Second. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Motion carries. All right. I will now. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Just 1 minute. All right, thank you. All right, I'm going to go through the consent calendar now. Item A1 is payroll dated June 25th, 2018 to July 8, 2018, the amount of $3,377,379.11. A2 is the bills list dated July 24th, 2018 in the amount of $4,182,368.75. The credit card activity not including Amazon purchases for period ending May 26, 2018 is $226,485.16. A3 is the contract with Water Products Company for purchase of 2018 water distribution systems material. This is the staff recommending we authorize a contract, a one-year contract for the purchase of 2018 water distribution system materials with Water Products Company in the amount of $55,353.55. This is coming out of the Water Fund. A4 is a contract with S4 Water Sales and Service LLC for the purchase of anthrite. Staff recommends City Manager execute a contract for anthrite with S4 Water Sales and Service LLC in the amount of $23,727. This is coming out of the Water Fund as well. Northwestern parking, football parking, and tailgating on the Evanston-Wilmette Golf Course during the 2018 home game season. Staff recommends approval with the Evanston-Wilmette Golf Course Association. This is a new agreement that allows Northwestern to continue to park cars on the hole 1, 2, and 11, and also including hole 12 this year. This is for action and approval. A6 is a contract with Exxon Enterprise Incorporated for the expansion of integrated body-worn cameras and conductive electric weapons. Staff is recommending we authorize City Manager to execute a 5-year contract to purchase more body cameras as well as electric weapons from Exxon Enterprise. The city received a federal grant from the Department of Justice that will cover half of the cost. The 1-year total cost was $52,173. The city will pay half. The second year purchase is $68,616, with the city paying half, and year 3 through 5 is a total of $68,816, with the full cost going to the city. A7 is the payment to renew 2018 membership fees with Northeastern Illinois Public Safety Training Academy. Staff recommends payment for the 2018 Northeastern Illinois Public Training Safety Academy membership fees in the amount of $21,512 for the Fire Department and Public Works Agency. Funding for both come out of the Fire and Public Works Department membership, that will leave a remaining balance of $43,487. And A8 is 1-year support renewal with Dell EMC Incorporated for VMware annual support and licensing. The city staff is recommending that the city manager purchase a 1-year renewal of this annual support and licensing from VMware Systems from Dell in the amount of $35,789.47. This funding will come from the listed account, which is computer license and support, that has a current balance of $176,547.21. Those are the items on consent agenda. Can we move approval?
Move approval.
Second.
All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And Alderman Rainey has joined us for the record. No problem. All right, so we're going to now go to items for consideration. Alderman Braithwaite, can you please take A9?
Madam Chair, I'd like to move item A9. It's the Amazon activity ending in May 26th in the dollar amount of $16,706.86.
Move approval.
Second? Any questions? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Alderman Ruth Simmons, can you play to A10, please?
A10, staff recommends City Council adoption of Resolution 52R18, authorizing the city manager to file a grant application with the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago Green Infrastructure Project Partnership for the paving of 2 unimproved alleys utilizing permeable paver blocks. The application establishes the maximum grant funding at 60% of the construction cost and commits Evanston to fund 40% of the cost, or $200,000. The total estimated cost of construction will be $500,000, with MWRD paving for 60% and the City of Evanston paying for 40%. The city share of $200,000 will be paid out of the sewer fund, which has a $200,000 budget in fiscal year 2018 for stormwater management. This is for action.
Second. All right, Alderman Sufferton.
Dave, could you somebody explain why of the 22 potential alleys, these 2 were chosen?
Good evening, Dave Stoneback, Public Works Agency Director. As indicated in a memo that went out, our initial list was based on alleys that needed improvement that were within the CDBG area, indicating that they had a low-income area. At previous seminars that were held by the district, our staff was informed that they looked favorably upon projects in low-income areas. So it is our opinion that our best potential of getting funding would be to have projects that were in low-income areas. And then the second criteria was, without doing soil borings, we're not 100% sure where sandy soils exist, but we feel fairly confident that they do exist east of Ridge Avenue. So we took a list of alleys that were in the CDBG areas, and then we looked for the alleys that were east of Ridge Avenue, and those were the 2 alleys that came up.
Did anyone from staff ask for clarification from MWRD on what they meant when they said low-income areas?
We did not know.
My understanding is that it's on a municipality basis, not on an area basis. So if you take the low-income criteria out, are there other alleys among these 22 that make just as much sense as the 2 that you chose?
We did provide a memo later today that an email that went out to the city council, and there was a revised.
Yeah, there's like
list on
7
it.
that are bordering CTA tracks or a park.
That's correct.
Would any of those be just as good?
They would all be just as good. What we would have to do is go back and verify the lengths of those alleys to determine that we're coming up with the proper cost. So, and that's acceptable. We came up with based on the 2 alleys we had, we came up with the dollar figure about $500,000. Based on whatever alleys the aldermen select, we would just verify their length and then revise the cost estimate and then submit the application accordingly.
Okay, so in order to meet the deadline for this, what level of specificity do you need from us tonight?
Just which alleys the alderman would prefer to proceed with.
So we have to give you specific alleys rather than like linear feet of alley or anything like that?
That is correct. So again, the sewer fund right now we estimate that the sewer fund will only have $200,000 available for it in 2018 to do the match. I'm sorry, in 2019 to do the match. We haven't submitted a budget yet. That dollar figure could always be revised based on which alleys were selected by the alderman.
Okay.
Alderman Rainey.
Well, the alley north of Hull along Callan is specifically in a very low-income neighborhood. And it does border another taxing district or a non-taxing district, the CTA tracks or the Metro tracks. And the likelihood of that ever getting paved is just zero because they would never pay their fair share, and it would be extremely expensive for us to do so. So that will never get paved probably. And the other one also borders the Yellow Line tracks, the Brummel one. That will never get paid. It's multifamily buildings, so I thought I was extremely grateful to see that these two had been chosen. And, I know that there's some prejudice in some cases against, some parts of the city getting certain benefits such as this, but be that as it may, these are areas where we do have low-income people, and otherwise these alleys would never happen. So anything that can be done to retain this grant for these two alleys, I would be really grateful. And I know we did a CD alley down there 2 years ago, and it has just been, it's made a 100% difference in terms of rodents and fly dumping and other kinds of things that happen when an alley in a multifamily neighborhood abuts the train tracks, because people like to throw their stuff over the train tracks when it's not paved for some reason. And that has really ceased since that alley has been paved. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Alderman Sufferman.
The issue is that it's not a matter of prejudice. It's that these alleys were chosen under a misunderstanding of what Metropolitan Water Reclamation District means by low-income area. And if there's an engineering reason, soil, for example, that only certain alleys are eligible, I think we should have a process where we prioritize those alleys appropriately based on the actual criteria, not a misunderstanding. So is there a way of the 7 alleys here for you to figure out what the lengths are and where we should prioritize this grant? Because it's not a free alley. It's still $200,000. I mean, we're obviously leveraging it, but it has nothing to do with income. It's about stormwater. Do you know the lengths of any of these alleys that are on this list? Not like pop quizzing you, but
No, offhand, I do not at this point in time, but that is something that we could go research and have an answer to before the council meeting.
could you have an answer by tonight so that we could take advantage of get this in by the deadline of July 31st?
Yes, after this meeting, I believe that I'll have time to get the links of these alleys and send an email out to the city council on that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Alderman Braithwaite.
Just a quick, either to Dave or Alderman Wright, and I'm sure I read it somewhere, whose turn is it to receive CBDG funding this year for alleys?
Well, we have an alley left over in Alderman Fleming's ward that we're
Aye.
going to work on getting covered this year.
And then what else? Are there any other
I don't-
scheduled?
We haven't
identified. Okay, thank you.
September 27 is, I just sent you a memo,
I thought I
Alderman
read it
Fleming.
somewhere, just
Yeah.
it's, okay.
All right, so the question is, Dave, can you, when you're done, you can come back at council with more information as requested by Alderman Sufferman.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So we are going to pull this off of the agenda and talk about it at council. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I need to vote, Janella? Well, we're going to move it forward to council, so I need to vote for that. Okay, so and that got a second, right? I'm sorry. All right, so all those in favor of moving this, or all those in favor, I guess, of moving this to council, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so that carries. Alderman Sufferman, A11, please.
Item A11 is ordinance 78018, amending Title 7, Chapter 16 of the Evanston City Code, Small Wireless Facilities, providing for the regulation and application for small wireless facilities. This is for introduction and action.
Second.
Second. All right, seeing no lights, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Alderman Rainey, can you please say A12?
A12. This is ordinance 82018. It's for introduction, and we're being asked to recommend the vacation of a portion of a public land south of the Church Street public right-of-way, east of Florence Avenue, to an abutting owner. The amount of payment made to the city will be $16,000, determined by a third-party appraisal report by Valuation Services. And that's for introduction. Move approval.
Second.
All right, seeing no lights for discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. We now have one speaker for this committee. Do I do that next? Yes. Okay. Mr. Rinsky. Yeah. Mr. Rinsky, following council rules, we will allow 3 minutes for this as well.
I have a few items related, not necessarily to what's on the agenda, of course, because you're asking me to speak at the end here. My first thing is Fountain Square and the issues there. It troubles me as a taxpayer that we have these such problems on these jobs. It appears, and you know, was talking to someone here tonight about the idea of commissioning. The city allows the contractor to bury pipes, and then the pipes basically leak. Nobody tested the pipes. I mean, that's basically, you know, the blame the contractor, yes, but at the same time, who's watching these jobs from the city? And one of the issues I've come to conclude, too, we don't have enough city staff, and I've stated this several times, is there's not enough staff here to run these jobs. And if these jobs aren't being really watched over properly, we have problems. Digging up Fountain Square and fixing all these things is a big mess. And it's rather embarrassing, too, for the city. I think you need to really look at how you're staffing these jobs, what the staff is doing, because you have some, you know, I think Crown will be in this bad shape, too. You're going to have not watch the contractor. You're claiming a contractor's watching a contractor. Well, that doesn't, you know, that's not really acceptable and very troubling to me. And then I would really tell you, you know, you're not done. If they get the water turned on and they're lucky enough to do that, you have an extensive control package there that runs these fountains. I looked at it when I was down there. And basically, I'm curious how the city plans to maintain this through the coming years and keep this thing running. How much money have you allocated for maintenance of this thing? Because frankly, it's quite a complicated thing. And who's going to run it, take care of it? It's probably not going to be working half the time. So, you know, maybe staff should report back, what is their long-term plan to run this thing? And how many thousands of dollars are they planning to spend on it that you never budgeted to do the work? Frankly, that's one of my issues. And I think there's another issue that I know council won't discuss water too much, but the comment's been made, we've subsidized Skokie residents for years with our water. I want to make it clear to the council, we've also are subsidizing the Northwest Water Commission customers. We have the contract there is not adequate, and it hasn't been. So I've been asking for years to show us how much we're subsidizing all these other customers, and the city continues to not want to tell us. It basically isn't saying what's going on. These are important items I think we need to understand. And there's another thing I think, too, that's troubling to me. Citizens or people or whoever want to give the city money for projects. And that, you know, we have this at Harley Clark. We also have it, though, with the mayor's office. So, you know, he was paying for it. He's not here. Am I getting close to my end?
You are. You have 5 seconds.
All right. Well, I'll come back another night. But the bottom line is this practice of not paying for things when we're not paying for things is interesting, and we'll discuss it more.
Thank you. All right. Are there any items for communication from committee members?
No.
All right. So I'm going to move we adjourn this meeting at 6:25, and the next committee meeting is Planning and Development. Will start at 7 o'clock. Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor? And thank you.